Today we're going to take a look at Power BI exercise number 4, report authoring. We'll begin on page 58 of the Dashboard in a Day PDF. We're going to go all the way to page 89. From the report we were working on earlier, we're going to go to visualizations, and we're starting with a clean slate. We're going to add a stacked column chart. So over here on our layouts, we do have a stacked column chart right here. Go ahead and add one of those to our canvas. And we're looking to select data from date and sales revenue. So from the sales table, we'll take revenue to chart. And on the axis, we'll do month, name, and year for date. So we're going to rename the field here and call it month. Okay. Over here in Power BI, we will right-click on Month ID and do Hide. Excellent. Down in section 8, hide the month number from the date table. There we go. Right-click Hide. Excellent. And we have a few more things to hide. In the manufacturer table, we're going to hide the manufacturer ID. So we'll do a right-click Hide on that. We will hide the product ID and manufacturer IDs from the product table. So hiding some of those ID numbers to make the data more legible. And from geography, hide the zip country field. Excellent. Okay, that's done. Moving on to step 13. Move the column chart to the right of the canvas. We'll go ahead and give this a little bit more space and expand it. We want to add a legend for manufacturer, so we'll bring that over to legend. Okay, now we've added manufacturer, so we're getting color bands for each different manufacturer that's in the data series. And here we can drill in a little bit more, and you can see across the heading here all the different manufacturer values and how those create color bands through the data set. Back over here in the visualization, we'll scroll to filters, and we're going to do the top 5 by revenue. And we have a screenshot here of what that looks like. To apply a filter, expand the manufacturer from the filter type, and do top in. Let's go ahead and enable that. So from the filter drop down, manufacturer, basic filtering to top in. Show top 5. Top 5 by revenue. Apply filter. There we go. So the visual level filters have a selection for top in. We select 5, and then we provide the sales revenue field. Interesting. Good UI. Excellent way to do that. All right there under the filter heading. Here we want to add the company logo by doing an insert image on the top toolbar. So we'll go ahead up to that area. Bring the chart back down. Back to report. Move it down on the canvas. Image. And we'll go browse. Dashboard in a Day. And we'll grab logo. Resize that. Put it over here in the corner. Excellent. Moving on to step 24. At this point, we want to take a look at the options for custom report themes. It starts with a standard theme. So we're going to go to the File, Options, and Settings and turn on Custom Report Themes. And we have File, Options, and under the Preview Features group, we have Custom Report Themes. We'll go ahead and turn that on and hit OK. Requires a restart. Save our work. Excellent. Now we have Custom Report Theme enabled. And we will go down to Search Themes from the Home tab. Switch Theme, Import Theme, Dashboard in a Day. There's a theme. Brings in colors for us. We get a dialog that the theme was imported successfully and our color bands have now changed from their defaults. I'm kind of curious, but that theme file that we were just working with, I wonder what kind of format that is. I've never worked with these before. Theme.json. Interesting. So if you were to open it up and look inside, we have data colors with a series of hex values. So I guess if you don't like the Power BI default color palette, you can turn on themes, import a JSON file with your color palette, and then provide more company branded colors. That's something people might use. Excellent. So we notice that has been updated. Stack column chart, expand, change colors, custom colors. We can do home text and put sales overview for a label. So we'll go ahead and click text box over here on the top, and we'll call this sales overview. Excellent. There we go. Go ahead and bring the size up, turn on bold, resize the boundaries. Yeah, maybe even size it a little bit larger than that. There we go. Our custom label. Different ways to change the font color, slicer icon. We'll do a dark gray font. Okay, so we'll go ahead and change that here with the foreground color. Dark gray, Segoe UI light. We'll change it to bold, something a little more thick. Excellent. Next, we're going to look at adding a field slicer. Click the slicer icon in the visualizations panel. The slicer is the one with the icons and the funnel here. So we'll go ahead and take that, and I'll resize the canvas and bring the stacked column chart over to the left, make a little more room for this on the right. And we want to add the field year. So under date, we're going to grab year, bring it over to our slicer. Excellent. Resize as needed, move the chart, provides the ability to filter key values, and we are on to step 48. To compare competitors over time, line charts are more helpful. Select the column chart visual and change it to a line chart visual. So let's go ahead over to that. We'll do a modification here. Change to line chart just by clicking that icon for line chart in the visualization. Tooltips section currently is empty. We want to add units from sales so that we can get not just the revenue but also the sales units when we hover. So here we are hovering and we're getting that units breakdown to go with the headline sales number above. So we're adding a little bit more hovering detail. Also notice revenue and units field needs to be formatted. So here we're going to go to fields, expand sales, select the revenue field. And on the ribbon we're going to select modeling format currency. So we'll highlight revenue, modeling, format from general to currency. We'll do US English. From the fields, expand sales units, model format with a column. So we'll highlight units, and we'll do format whole number. Turn on the comma option there, so we get a comma separator. So now our units hovering does have a comma separator for the tooltip. Excellent. Moving on to step 54, we're going to add an analytics trend line. So here is the analytics icon with the magnifying glass, and that can add a trend line to our chart. We'll click on that, expand trend line. We'll click on add. So here we're looking at trend line 1. We'll rename that to revenue trend. Revenue trend. There we go. And we'll do 0. Style is dotted. And we'll use combine on. Color is gray. We'll change that a little bit. You can see the line here in the background that it drew across the data series. Excellent. Got our style and color set. Manufacturer, notice the trend line is displayed on the line chart. Yes. We use the top end to show top competitors. If we want to apply this filter to all the visuals, here's how we do it. To apply a global filter for the entire page, click on the white space of the canvas. We'll just click on the background. In the field section, we'll do the ellipses next to manufacturer, and we'll do add filter. Add filter. There we go. This will add the manufacturer column to the page filter. In visualization, scroll to page level filters. Expand manufacturer and select the following ones. Okay, we'll select a couple here. Excellent. We can see that filtered data for the entire page. On the report canvas, select the map visualization. I'm going to add a new page for that. And here we have a filled map, GIS map, and a regular map. We're going to do regular map. And the geography table, and drag country column to location. So country is going to go to location. And we'll resize this up. Under the formatting, we're going to find bubbles heading. And size of 1%, map styles. Units will go to size. So we'll put that here in the size selection. Formatting for the bubbles is at 1%. Title text, units by country. Text size we will enlarge. And here we'll add a slicer to analyze the data by product segment. So we'll go ahead and add another slicer to the canvas. Move that over to the right. So here on page level filters, we'll do product segment. There we go. From the slicer, select regular segment. In the line chart, notice revenue has been both up and down over the years. So that'll be back to this line chart. So put that on the wrong page, but that's fine. We can copy paste to move over. It's actually pretty easy to do. And for year, we'll remove that. Resize this one. Excellent. There we go. Still have our trend lines. Now we will change our visualization for the chart to a ribbon chart. So here we want to do a category instead of manufacturer, so we'll take that off the legend. We'll bring category over to the legend and re-render our chart. Revenue, tooltip, units. So there's our chart updated by category for a ribbon chart. In the line chart, select Van Arstel from legend. Newly updated chart is rendered. And we could revenue by category. So we can actually clone this with a little Control-C, Control-V to copy paste. We can take both the original and the new charts to put them side by side. Take the original back over to a line chart with its regression and set that one by manufacturer. The new one is by category. The filters, we could potentially kind of move off to the corner. I think one of the biggest things in working with Power BI is the layout and just making sure that the positioning matches your data set. I mean, you want to give the right space for the right kind of a chart. Unfortunately, they stack well and they're easy to position, but we definitely want to have those options when we're doing our layout. Widen the line chart on the left. There we go. Now that's a lot easier to read. Okay, excellent. Now here we're navigating the data series by working two charts side by side. We're going to select mix in the category chart in order to see what manufacturers that gives us. So when we highlight the mix category or rural, urban, youth. We can see how animating through the categories on the right changes the line chart on the left over the last couple of years and the trends and how that data works out. And if I hide some of the toolbars and give this more surface area, it works even better. The larger the screen, the easier this is going to be to navigate. And you can do things with increasing font size, of course, and if you want to, you can zoom in on any of these charts by doing the expand arrow, the focus mode in the top right corner, and that's kind of handy to do. But going through the different categories of product, we can see sales over time, trend line is generally up or down, makes it easier to interpret, and they're connected together. So anytime we filter one, we filter it all. And for the title text, we can go over here and update the property that we have for formatting under title, text, ... by category, because that chart's going to be on the right-hand side, and there's our title text coming through, making it a little easier to read. Over here to step 94 on the report canvas, we can select a stacked bar chart from the visualizations. And we'll change the label of the other one to by manufacturer, so it'll be over here in title, and clear this out, by manufacturer. Excellent, there we go. Cool, so we got two charts updated. And now we can add a new one for revenue by category and country as a stacked bar chart. That's another one that we can add to our canvas. So we'll move some of these out of the way. Over here to the left. There we go. Stacked bar chart. Put it in the center for now. And we're going to give that category, segment, and product for filters on our data fields. So we want to do expand these. Category for axis, segment, and product. With that in place, we can put country in the legend, and we can put revenue into value. There we go. So we've got the bar chart updated, ready to go. Revenue by category and country. We can even highlight off of that, drill it in, expand full screen, navigate one country at a time by clicking the legend across the top, and do back to report. Excellent. So we can hover and sort by revenue on the ellipse in the corner. So we'll sort by revenue, put the taller bar charts at the top. Yep, and that would be by geography on the labeling. So we'll come over here to title, change the heading, ... by geography. Okay, save that. We want the ability to compare data. Step 102, do a new measure on sales. We'll right-click Sales and open New Measure. So we'll right-click on Sales and do New Measure. We get this dialog at the top to input a formula. I'll paste in the formula from the spreadsheet, year-to-date revenue with a DAX formula, total YTD, total year-to-date. Click the check mark. You'll see a new column, year-to-date revenue. This calculation aggregates the revenue on a year-to-date basis. Similar, let's create a last year-to-date. And also, let's create a last year revenue to date. So we'll right-click on Sales and do New Measure. In the dialog, we'll put in the name of the field as well as the formula. So we have two additionals, last year, year-to-date, and current year-to-date. So with both year-to-date revenue and last year year-to-date revenue columns added, to compare the percentage difference between the 2 years, you need additional DAX expressions. So we'll do a year-to-date variance and variance percentage. Clicking on the table and do a new measure. So essentially these are calculated columns, calculated fields that we're giving a DAX expression where it can be aware of the relationships and the date range. We'll add a new measure. Put that in there. Excellent. Save. There we go. And the percentage variance compares last year to the current. Let's format the newly created measures. Step 107. From the fields, expand sales and select year-to-date revenue. That highlights it in yellow. Under modeling, we can format as currency US. Okay, last year's to-date revenue, modeling, format, currency, English US. Excellent. And we'll do variance as a percentage. Make sure to select that. Year-to-date sales variance, modeling. Click on percent. There we go. Excellent. We'll do a stacked area chart with year-to-date sales variance. So let's go over and I'll make a new canvas for us. We'll do a stacked area chart. And for data fields, we're going to have the year-to-date sales variance for our value. The legend will be by category. And the axis is going to have year and then month. So we'll do year first and month after that. And we'll go ahead and rename that field to shorten it down to just month. We can resize the chart to make it easier to read. Matches up with what we have in our guide. Moving on to step 120. Now we can look at a waterfall chart to visualize manufacturer performance over time. In the white space of the report canvas, we'll make a little bit on the right. Select visuals, we'll do the waterfall, add that in. And from the fields, the category is going to be by manufacturer. The y-axis is going to be year-to-date sales variance. And sentiment colors, we have increase and decrease. Down here, decreases in purple instead of red. Increases in a green color, blue-green. Alright, purple for decrease. And we can add a year slicer. So let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Put a slicer on the canvas. And we will connect that over to year. There we go. Excellent. Drop down instead of a list. There's actually two, it's kind of subtle here, but there's two different ways to format a slicer. Either a list of check boxes that you're marking, or potentially a drop down. For this particular layout, we're going to change it to a drop down to save screen real estate. Excellent. Your team might be interested in performance in recent years. By default, a slicer is a single select. To multi-select, we'll change the format and select 15, 16, and 17. Okay, so we'll go over here to our slicer. Just currently on a drop down. So we're going to format this with the paint roller. Selection controls, single select is off. Now it's a drop down with the multi, and they selected 2015, 16, and 17, more recent years. Clear the slicer for sales overview. Excellent. And then by category, yep, we have our other charts redrawing. Next, we're going to add a KPI that compares this year's revenue versus last year's. On the white space of the canvas, we'll do a visualization section and open the KPI, which I'll add over here. And from the fields, we'll expand indicator year-to-date revenue. That's it. And we will do year for axis. Excellent. And last year's year-to-date revenue for a target goal. So we're comparing this year to last in a single KPI. Excellent. Add a title to the icon, color coding, higher is good. Excellent. And for the title, we'll turn that on and we'll just say Revenue KPI. Text size of 10. Go ahead and increase that. Looks good. Okay, so now we want to clone it, but change how it interacts with the year selector. So there's a revenue KPI. We'll do Control-C, Control-V to make another one. And we're going to relabel the title on this to name it 2017 Revenue KPI. There we go. And we need to change the way the filters behave. So over in our filter control, we're going to do the Format toolbar, Edit Interactions, and we want to disable it from the 2017 KPI. So as soon as we do Format, Edit Interactions, it opens these new icons here where we can disconnect. So we're going to disconnect 2017 KPI so that it's not part of the filtering, and that way it'll stay static no matter what filters are selected. From the year slicer, we'll go ahead and select 2016 only. We can see how values are changing, but for the 2017 revenue KPI, it's always staying the same. That confirms it's no longer connected to the filter. Excellent. So here we have formatting where they're going to add some headers for sales and revenue and position all of these chart elements together on a single canvas with year and segment in the top right. And this is more of a snap to grid lines, layout, presentation exercise. And there's finally a role category for tax expressions on geography. So we want individuals from one area to only see data from a particular segment. So they're defining roles, setting that up, collapsing the visualizations, and finally publishing. So the role-based security is something that we can configure with manage roles, and by default no report has a role defined, but we can connect that over to our data series and use it for publishing. So let's go ahead and create the first role. We'll do Modeling, Manage Roles, click Create, and the first one will be called US Role, and we'll do it by geography. There's a DAX expression for country equals quote USA. We'll paste that in and verify it. Hit Save. Modeling, Manage Roles. We can create another one and want to repeat that for 5 more options. So here we are just setting the DAX expression for each one. Go ahead and bring all of that together. Country equals France, Canada, Australia. Go ahead and copy paste. There we go. Bring it over, copy paste yet another one. And we'll hit save. There we have it. Now for testing it, you can do View As Role and actually toggle to a specific role just to see how the charts render, and you get this toolbar up here, now viewing as Mexico role, and that filters the data slightly differently. So that can help with your report publishing and security trimming to which data is relevant for an end user. So that concludes exercise 4 all the way up to step 188. And this was a very advanced report that we made with a number of things. Recap, we have trend lines and line charts. We have a ribbon chart. We have stacked bar chart by category. There's geography bubbles. We have a fixed KPI that's not part of filter expressions. We also have a variance year to date versus last year, and that's doing a DAX expression with a calculation. And here we have a waterfall chart which shows a composition and kind of highlights those categories of where it came from. The whole thing is driven by filters in the top corner for year and segment, and it even allows for security where certain people only see certain data. That concludes exercise 4. Thanks for watching.